We're more than a week into the NBA season, Corey, and I feel like there's still just a million questions that haven't been answered. Like, we just don't know a lot about a lot of things yet. But we'll start with the Golden State Warriors, 2-2 to start the season. Corey, what do you make of them so far?
I think they need to become a better defensive team. Coach Kerr said it, during one of the blowouts. I think it was the Bucks game. He's like, we're giving up 30 points per quarter. That's just not acceptable. So for me, it has to start from the defensive end for the Warriors. But I do like what I'm seeing. I like Wiggins. I like what he's putting out there. One of my favorite players off the bench was Marquise Chris. I really liked what he was doing before he got injured, which to me was really tragic to see him coming into his own and then get injured. But I think there are a lot of pieces there. But the question is, can they be competitive in the West? And Kurt, what do you think? Do you think they can kind of go towards the top of the West?
First off, I kind of think this is what they are, right? I mean, as much as it's a little early to tell, and Steph Curry has looked great most of the time, the problem is, look, who did they lost to? Two elite teams. They lost to Brooklyn and Milwaukee. They beat Detroit and Chicago. They beat lesser teams that they kind of should beat if you're a playoff team. That's probably who they are, right? That's probably where they fall. And for me, yeah, the defense has got to get better. There's stuff to focus on. But at this point, for me, their season has to become a lot about getting James Wiseman minutes. Because if you're going to compete next year, you get Clay back. And remember, they get Draymond back this year, which will obviously help the defense to a large degree. But
Absolutely.
If you're going to run next year with Steph, Clay, Draymond, you still need that center. You need somebody in the middle who can block shots and protect. And James Wiseman has shown the athleticism to be that guy. I mean, he makes some freakish athletic plays out there, but he also looks like a guy who played 3 games in college. His feel for the game he's still just kind of a chicken with his head cut off at points, especially on the defensive end, which comes back to those other issues. I think you've just got to get him a lot of run and figure it out as you go. Be the best team you can this year, but if you can build him up and help him make a leap next year, then you're poised for the kind of run they really want to make.
Let me ask you a question, Kurt. So if you get Draymond back in top form, Wiseman's playing well, where do you think this team will finish? Do you think they're like 8-5 seed in the West? Do you think they're a playoff contender? What do you think?
Yeah, 5 might be a little high. I was going to say 6 on the top end, or 7. I picture them in the play-in games, honestly, but possibly hosting one. Like the West, again, as we've talked about before, and everybody, it's so deep, and there's just no margin for error. They're a really good team, and the Lakers are 2-2. Come on, I think they're going to be better than that, but there's just no margin for error. If the Lakers take a night off and don't come out focused against Portland, they lose. It's that kind of Western Conference, and I'm not sure the Warriors on their best night are going to beat a number of focused teams in the West right now.
Yeah, and the one issue for me that keeps coming up with the Warriors too is depth. I love, obviously Steph Curry's going to do his thing. The question was once again, who can fill up Klay Thompson's production, which obviously he's one of the best players and at least in my generation to come out. So not many people can, but Oubre has been playing really well in the preseason, and then recently. He hasn't really had that spark. He hasn't provided that kind of spark that the Warriors needed. So for me, the question is, who's going to continue to produce for them coming off the bench or on the second team? Because I just haven't seen that.
Yeah, they haven't seen that. Wiseman has been, frankly, Wiseman. Like, he has those really great nights, and then he has the nights where he kind of he's Homer backing into the bushes, right? Like, it's just,
well, he's a rookie, So.
You just don't quite know. They need more consistency out of him. There's potential there. I still like the potential of this team, but they are a long way from living up to it.